Mcgowan Park.
This park and museum are a great way to spend a nice walk. You can kill a good half hour walking through the park, and you can check out a lot of the historical points in the park leading up to Seven Oaks House Museum, which is an old home in Winnipeg. Actually, I believe it's the oldest home in Winnipeg, if I remember right. And yeah, it's a great spot that was donated to the city and for the community to use. So we do come here about once a year, and they sometimes have tours. With COVID, they do not at this time, but there is a little bit further information on a virtual tour coming up in just a bit. Well, it can be a little depressing in the fall time when all the leaves drop off the trees. Seeing them without their foliage always looks kind of a little bit like a spooky masterpiece. Some very old trees back here. Yeah, we were lucky enough to get a free tour here a few years ago on Canada Day. They often have an open house, and gentleman who led us through the house had such cool information for us on it. They also have a virtual tour online that you can make use of. So originally this was the home of the Inkster family, and later it was turned into a general store and post office. Fur traders would also often come here, actually, as the river isn't too far away. Some very cool historical photos here in the window of the museum. Here's some information to the self-guided tour you can find online.
This house, completed in 1853, is one of the oldest surviving residences in Manitoba. It was built by John Inkster, 1799 to 1874, farmer, merchant, and free trader. Its name derives from from 7 large oak trees which stood nearby, making the site of the Battle of Seven Oaks, fought on June 19th, 1816, between the servants of the Hudson's Bay Company the Selkirk settlers and representatives of the rival Northwest Company.
So while the weather was still cooperating, the next morning we decided to head out bright and early. I wanted to try getting some photography in. And it was just a really beautiful start to spring. I'm not too sure why, but for some reason I have always enjoyed just going for a drive. As soon as I was able, when I turned, 15 and a half, I scooped up my learner's license, and I've been driving ever since, really. I do it as part of my job. I do it in a lot of my leisure time. It's funny, I never tire of it, but I just love to go for a drive, listen to some tunes, or have good company, enjoy a coffee, take in the scenery, and see what else the world has to offer besides what's in our four walls.
After an extensive, cold, grueling winter, isn't it wonderful to see snow finally gone? Gorgeous.
Yes, it was supposed to be raining last night and this morning, but the rain hasn't started yet, so hard to say. It is clouding over a little, but I'm hoping maybe we'll get lucky and we'll just get a few drops and that'll be the end of it, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Up until the last few years, I've generally stuck around the city. But I gotta say, over the last few years, adventuring with my better half has been just wonderful. Seeing new things and going to places that I never thought I would ever go to. And now onto this adventure with this channel with the better half. And I'm hoping that you enjoy our adventures as much as we do. Hey guys, just check that view out, eh? This is what I think the prairies should look like. So yeah, we are here in Cooks Creek.
Grotto of Our Lady Lourdes is located in Cooks Creek area or Hazel Ridge, Manitoba, and it's a beautiful church, also surrounded by the Grotto area here, where they actually hold a medieval festival most years. Well, a nice gentleman actually just drove by. Church is starting in just about an hour or less. But he unlocked the gates and actually said we could have a nice walk around. So we're going to get some great shots for you, and then we'll recap on our way out.
This is just gorgeous. If you ever get the chance to come out to Cooks Creek, or those of you that don't live out here, you have to check this wonderful place out. It's just beautiful.
a member of the church staff actually was in the area as we were photographing, and they were so very gracious to offer to allow us to walk around the grounds and continue our photos. Services were starting in about an hour, but we did manage to have a beautiful view of the outside of the buildings, and it was a wonderful experience. Apparently the church was designed and architected by Father Philip Roux, and then once the church was completed, and it took 22 years to complete, his then dream was to build the grotto, and that was started in 1954. If you do ever get the opportunity to check out some of the events that they hold for the community, probably in maybe non-COVID times they will pick up that type of thing again. Or stop by to have a peek. You won't be disappointed. The church has a pretty extensive website, and we'll be certain to leave a link below in the description box.